Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk to you guys about character ranking. Now, I know there isn't much to gain from it aside from the bragging rights and the kind of personal glory and motivation of trying to be number one, but it is kind of fun, it's interesting, and I have picked up a few tips along the way, so I wanted to share with you guys how you can improve your character's ranking if you so choose, because not everyone plays this game to be competitive, and I wanted to bring you guys something a little bit more light, more positive, after a couple of a bit salty videos. So on the character ranking page, you can go ahead and see at a glance very quickly your score as your characters compared to all of the other players in the world. So rank 3000, whatever, rank 4600, and so on and so forth. And you can go into their page and you can see their Black Bolt or their Dormammu or whatever and kind of see how it matches up to yours. But that really doesn't help understand why your score is low and why your score is high. So I wanted to answer some questions, demystify some things, and give you guys some examples of both characters who are very highly ranked or very close to number one, and then characters who are not so close to number one. So overall, your character's score at the bottom there, rank 11,824, will be reflective of two main aspects: how much you've built the character up and how popular the character is in the game. So of course, if more players are being competitive and building up a specific character, your rank will be much more difficult to maintain. So for example, my Doctor Strange is very well built. He has a mythic uniform, he's got Uru, he's got Obelisk, fully awakened ISO 8 set, and yet he's still at rank 1756 because he's one of the most popular characters in the game, especially from a competitive aspect. And so my score is very low because other people are really tweaking every piece of this character to get him all the way up to the top. Conversely, no one gives a shit about Ronin. Surprise, surprise. So I didn't have to try nearly as hard to get my Ronin to be a very high rank. He's ranked 27. His uniform is heroic, which is still 2 stages away from max. We got legendary and then mythic. He doesn't even have Uru on all of his gear. He actually only has it on 1 gear. And then he doesn't even have a fully awakened ISO 8 set. So that's going to be a big factor in where your character is on the rankings. But what differentiates my Ronin from the number one Ronin? Well, let's take a look. Of course, for starters, you need to have a 6-star obelisk. Keep in mind, if you have one of the old school obelisks, it won't even count, or it will count as like a 1-star obelisk. If you don't know what the old school obelisks are, they are the obelisks that look like the one I have on Sharon Rogers, and it's from when the game had just one type of obelisk and not the ones that they have now. So these obelisks basically don't count. If you go over into the ranking, it says that my custom gear is level 1. The ranking system is pretty helpful, but I wanted to give you guys a couple of extra tips just to improve your overall quality of combat power if you want to increase it drastically. So of course you need 6-star obelisk. The more awakened ISOs you have, the better, and if I did have an awakened ISO to equip here, I could see potentially my score jump. There is quite a bit of an impact on the ISO 8. As well, of course, the uniform is going to count towards that. I'm not 100% sure if the other uniforms tied to the uniform also count. So for example, I don't know if your score will increase just by having Yellow Jacket's uniform at Mythic versus Advanced, or Ghost Riders, or Silk. So if somebody knows in the comment section, that could really illuminate that for us. Obviously, of course, you also need to have Uru. 6-star Uru is necessary for certain characters. You see, I only equipped 4 6-star Urus, but that allowed my Ronin to catapult to rank 27. So perhaps with a handful of other 6-star Urus, I could take number 1. Or with 5-star Urus, I could probably crack the top 10, maybe even the top 5. Just keep in mind, it's incredibly difficult to roll for 6-star Urus, and it is soul-crushingly bad when you don't get it. The last thing that is going to impact your character's ranking in the combat power is actually the rolls on your gear. I want to get to that in a second, but I want to dispel a couple of rumors. Your cards, the power of your cards, and whether the character is tier 2 or tier 1 have absolutely no impact on their combat power, and the level of their skills also has 0 impact on their combat power level. So whether my skills are level 1 or level 6, it will not factor in to this overall ranking. But let's go back to this one, because I think this is the one that people are less familiar with, if they are familiar with it at all. What I mean by the rolls on the different gears are the numbers, the actual numbers themselves. So you can see here, this 60, the green one means that it's a maximum roll. So out of the possible rolls, 52 to 60, 60 is the highest, so it's green. The higher or closer you have to max on each of these, the more your combat power is going to scale up. So you can actually see a noticeable difference, and I've done this on stream before. I went ahead with Carnage and I re-rolled some of his gears. It cost me a few million gold, so I don't recommend it unless you really want that top spot. But I re-rolled some of his gears up to higher individual levels. You see I have some green ones there because I got lucky, and his score improved a lot. It improved by a few hundred levels that I equipped. I then equipped a 5-star Uru, and it jumped even further, but that is going to be the last step. So if I did have all the Urus, if I did have everything else maxed out on Ronin, but I still wasn't at that top spot, I would have to start going in and painstakingly re-rolling these gears, trying to get max rolls or potentially very close to max rolls, like this one that's off by 2 points. And you will see the changes in the combat power. You may just need to roll a couple of different slots to get a cumulative score that's going to push you up to the next rank. Also keep in mind that it takes a minute to refresh, so you won't necessarily see it right away. You might have to log back into your game. But that is how you increase a character's combat power. I do think that it is a pretty interesting part of the game. It was overlooked when the update came out, but I do enjoy it, and I do like showing love to characters who are kind of left on the shelf and not to be played with, like Ronin. I'm pretty happy that I have a rank 27 Ronin. I do want to get his uniform to Mythic eventually and see if I can get a top 5 or even a top 1 Ronin. Even though he's not very good, he may even be decent in combat or Alliance Conquest, who knows. So that is the combat power system. Guys, I know it's not a new feature. It has been in the game since the few updates past, but I do like to go back to it from time to time, and I do like incrementally working on characters, and it is satisfying to see that number go down and get closer and closer to 1 as you progress with different characters. And it's always awesome to hear when you guys have like the rank 1 Satana or the rank 5 Hulkling and stuff like that. So let me know in the comments, hit me up, what is your highest ranked character? I am very curious to know how many of the bros in the Debris Boy army have, you know, rank 1 characters of all different kinds and shapes and sizes and skin colors. And of course, guys, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.